pahayag at nagbibigay din po kami ng assurance na hindi na po ito mangyayari muli.
The DOH investigation into a breach in the vaccination protocol in one area in Metro Manila is calling attention to how health workers are conducting the inoculation. And if this incident is not isolated, it also brings the question, how many of the 10 million recipients were vaccinated correctly? We discuss in this episode of The Chiefs. Welcome to this special edition of The Chiefs. I'm Robbie Alampay. Also with us online are Ami Pamituan of the Philippine Star, Lucy Cruz Valdez of News 5, and Ed Lingao of One News. Chiefs, happy Monday.
Hi, happy Monday.
Nakita niyo ba yung video?
Oh, syempre.
Sa Makati.
Yeah. Napaisip tuloy ako. Sa Makati nagpapauna eh.
Ako rin eh. Kasi ako kasi pumikit ako eh. Ayoko tingnan yung turok eh. Tapos hindi pa namaga yung ano ko. So napapag-isip tuloy ako.
Eh, ako hindi ko naramdaman eh.
No. Eh, manhid ka kasi.
Sabi na nga.
Okay. But diretso na tayo sa guest natin because medyo mahalaga tong guest natin. Let's begin tonight. We will be talking about the vaccination effort still. But for now, we start with Senator Frank DRILON. Good evening, Senator DRILON.
Good evening, Senator.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Robbie. Good evening, Ed, and G, and Abby. Good evening.
And Senator, of course, you're here because we're still, of course, in the mood of the passing of the former President Noynoy Aquino. Just your thoughts, sir. Let's open with that. Your thoughts on last week and over the weekend, the passing of Noynoy.
I was very sad. He was a friend more than more than being president. I have known him for years since the early '90s with President Cory. He was then barely 20 years old, and he didn't interfere in governance at that time. But later on, we worked together. He was when he was president, and I was in the Senate. We worked on a number of laws which affected our countrymen, including controversial measures like the sin tax law, like the RH bill, liberalization of our investment climate, and on the budget, devoting substantial funds to the 4-piece program, which gave ayuda to millions of Filipino families. I really miss him, Roby. When and I am sure that history will recognize PNOY'S contribution to the development of our country. When he came in 2010, the country was known as the sick man of Asia. When the presidency in 2016, we were recognized as the tiger economy. And certainly it was through good governance that we were able to achieve our respect among nations, and indeed that his departure saddened me on a personal and an official basis.
Senator, as you said, history will continue. The discussions on that will continue. But something we asked everybody that was here last week: what do you know of him that most people do not know? What do you know of Noynoy, the person that will surprise others?
I don't know. Well, he's very public in his life. He keeps no secret, including his girls. Kilalang-kilala yan kung sino. But, when we are when we are not before the media, he is just an ordinary friend who would love to kid around, horse around, literally, and and something that people will not see. He's a very jolly fellow. He would put his hair down, sing, and all that stuff. But so that's something that he because of his being very private also, you did not see much of that in public.
Did you see his death coming, actually? How close were you, and how familiar were you with his health condition?
I did not see it coming, although we would exchange text messages, and the last text message exchange we had was, he told me that he was looking for a donor for a replacement of his kidney, and so I was surprised when I learned that he passed away. Because the impression that he left me was that he is in the process of replacing his kidney, which, given the present advancement in medicine, is not something that you would consider as a dead end. But in fact, he died of renal failure.
And he seemed to be in good spirits, no? Even during his last birthday celebration, there was not a trace of, the unhealthy Pinoy waiting for a donor for his upcoming transplant. Wala eh, no? Parang when you watch the video, there was no sign at all that.
Yes, that's right. Lucy. But February 8th, I look back, and February 8th was the first time he told me that he's looking for a donor. It's on his birthday when I greeted him. Yes, when I greeted him, I said, "Boss, happy birthday. How are you? Happy birthday." And then he replied and says, I am looking for a donor, but I'm hoping that this will not deteriorate to the point that we could not bring it back. But so February, you talked, Lucy, about you saw him. We saw that video on his birthday with his former PSG friends.
Right.
And indeed, you would not notice that he was ill at the time. But I'm telling you that on that day, he was texting me that he was looking for a replacement for his kid.
Pero sir, more recently, we talked to LP Vice President or Vice Chairman na Teddy Bagilat last week, and he was saying na as late as Tuesday last week, June 22, 2 days before he died, si Pinoy was still offering to help the party in whatever way he can. So
well, that's typical of Pinoy. He was keeping things to himself. He did not want to burden people with his own problems. So 2 days before he passed, he was saying that he was offering his services to the party to do his share. But that's typical of him. And I'm not surprised that he said that there was that episode.
Senator, naumpisahan na rin lang yung politics. I know the family is still in mourning now, but inevitably the talk always goes to politics. How do you think it will affect the chances of opposition coalescing behind the common candidate for 2022?
Well,
Hindi maiwasan yung speculation ngayon.
You know, if you look at our political history, when Senator Ninoy was assassinated, it created a political event that changed the course of our history. When President Cory died in 2009, it catapulted her son, then Senator Noynoy Aquino to the presidency. But having said that, however, I must emphasize that nobody can say or nobody can predict with any reasonable certainty what will happen. Of course, we are hoping that the death of a leader is an occasion for us, for this particular case, for soul searching. Ano ba ang dapat nating look at ourselves and how can we contribute to do our share so that the memory of a beloved president such as Pinoy could be pursued. And it's not easy, Ami. I wish I could say that something definitely will come out of it, and especially I must assert that the cruelty of the social media and the paid trolls is something that we have to contend with. We in the opposition, we have to contend with that. How we can overcome the viciousness of the paid trolls is something that that is a challenge to us in the opposition.
On the
Okay,
other,
but do you? Yeah, go ahead.
the death has also revived his previous statements on decency. Well, at least Father Sok mentioned it, but his former speeches on "No Wang Wang, you're my boss." You think this is going to be sustained all the way to the coming months?
Yes, we hope that his presidency, which was marked by decency, good governance, formal na usapan, that could be highlighted. But again, that's our wish, and we believe sincerely that it is for the good of the country that we retake this platform and explain to the people why we need reform. But again, as I would keep on saying, we cannot presume that the death would define what we would like to see.
But I'm wondering if the opposition is already, well, of course, making plans or at least blue skying at the very least on the repercussions of the death of Pinoy, because that would have a, let's just say, very positive impact on how the opposition will be viewed, no? Especially among those who really admired him and followed his presidency and want it replicated. Is this something that, at the very least, you in the opposition are already talking about and finding ways to? I hate to use the word, but to capitalize on, given that election season is really here, or at least around the corner.
Lucy, none yet. We're just Monday today. This happened on a Thursday. We have not had a chance to regroup, but I'm sure we will shortly in order to make assessment of how we will proceed from here, how we can shape the discourse on the presidential election. We will do that. No question about that. As I said, it's just that it's too barely
Too soon,
Yeah.
2 days, 3 days. So, but we will. I am sure of that.
We know, sir, that you're of course very close to the family. You're close to Noynoy. Your history goes far with the family and with the former president. But respectfully, just a reflection on it's related to what Lucci was asking. But what I'm really reflecting on is again, for lack of a better word, the brand. no? We've had a week so far, a few days of really, notwithstanding the trolls that you mentioned, a relatively calm week when people are relatively holding fire, and there's more respectful room to discuss the legacy of Pinoy, and even to bring out the color yellow. And for a long time, really, people were really affected by all the trolling on Dilaw, on the color yellow, on Dilawan. In the past few days, there has been a resurgence. I don't know if this is just a coincidence that you're wearing yellow, but on social media, I certainly see the color more. There's more unapologetic pride for it. I'm wondering, without having to speculate on the elections, what do you see it has done to the name of Aquino, to the brand of Aquino, and for that matter, everything that comes with it? The color yellow, the Liberal Party, and so on.
Robbie, I am not ashamed of being called Yellow Dilawan. I am not ashamed of that. And today I wear yellow. Yes, that's deliberate because I really believe that the Aquino family contributed much in shaping our history. And I'm willing to stand by that. I have seen it myself. I do not see why I should be ashamed of it. The Aquino family I am confident that their contribution will be recognized when history is written in our country.
Certainly, I wasn't referring to you. This is clearly understandable, but I'm just reflecting on the fact that, for example, in 2019, that was glaring to a lot of people. Ocho Derecho did not adopt yellow. And a lot of people were speculating on, and even among my friends, I have to admit, even the people in my social media, I have to admit, for the past few years, people have had to be apologetic. To be put it bluntly. People will qualify their statements, even for their admiration for Pinoy in the past few days. They would have to qualify, hindi ako dilaw, and so on. But in the past few days, it has been more proud. It has been more unabashed. There's been a recapturing, I dare say, for many people of, no, I like this guy, nothing wrong with it. I'm just wondering if you've noticed the same thing.
I guess, Roby, the departure of Pinoy gave us an opportunity for a collective soul searching and looking inward and really examine ourselves whether or not we can recognize that he has done something good for our country, not only him, his father and his mother. So as I said, it's too early to say. Let's go down the road. Down the road, we will see how it will develop. And what I can hope today is that the departure of Pinoy gave us an opportunity for a collective soul searching, which I can already see. That very powerful homily of Archbishop Archbishop Sok, to me, would express how I would feel about this, and I'm sure that a lot of people associated themselves with the views of Archbishop Sok.
Senator,
But I'm sure you're also already seeing those who are opposed to the opposition now. I don't know what you call it. Let's just say the supporters of the administration also watching out for whatever signs there may be of a more strengthened and more activated opposition, especially, heading into...
Lucy, they are already at work. Hindi mo na pinalagpasan ilang araw. The troll farm is already at work. The defenders of this administration are already at work, exerting every effort to prevent any manifestation of renewed support and recognition for what PNOY has done. But that's expected. That's expected.
Senator, ihabol ko lang, I want to, we're running out of time. I want to ask you about another topic. This proposal to deploy armed volunteers, civilian volunteers against criminality. Are there any legal impediments to this?
There are no legal impediments. We have laws that regulate licensing of firearms, and I do not understand what this policy is. Will we relax our licensing laws? I am not prepared to accept that. It is bad enough today. You'll make it worse by relaxing the licensing laws on firearms. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. There's so we are informed and we know it's a public knowledge that a lot of loose firearms. Look at the number of people being killed on a daily basis, and you will make the situation worse. So, I mean, I do not know what this is all about. You are correct. Yes, you are correct that we have laws that would allow possession of firearms. There are very strict laws. We should implement these laws correctly and strictly because more firearms or a more liberal environment for acquiring and licensing firearms will not solve our problem of hunger, will not solve our problem of lack of work. It will only make our situation worse. I mean, there was a proposal to include in the bill, which would modernize our Bureau of Fire Protection, to arm the 29,000 firemen. Can you imagine that?
Yes, right.
29,000 firemen they proposed to arm as part of the modernization of our Bureau of Fire. We opposed that, and there were 13 of us who specifically voted against that amendment introduced, I think, by Senator Tolentino or Senator De La Rosa. We opposed it, and 13 senators crossed party lines to oppose it. Now, but in the bicameral conference committee, notwithstanding the rejection by the Senate, again there was an effort to insert that clause, which would again arm our firemen. Again, we rejected the bicameral conference committee report. So this also indicates how the senators feel about this. And I am sure that if this comes before the Senate in the sense of relaxing the licensing requirements, I don't think it will pass the Senate if I read our senators correctly.
To be clear, sir, just on that point, because we do have to say, Malacanang has said it is not yet policy. The President was essentially just thinking out loud, according to Harry Roque. But assuming that he wants it, if he wanted it to become policy, does it have to pass through Congress?
Well, Robbie, when you say he wants to make it policy, what does that exactly mean? Relaxing the licensing requirements, allowing civilians to be armed legally. I mean, so what does this mean? But I can assure you that if it means you relax the licensing requirements, we will oppose it. And I'm sure that there are enough votes in the Senate to defeat such policies. So that is why at this stage, we do not know what exactly does this mean. Are they going to relax the licensing requirements? or are they going to authorize the arming in mass of vigilante groups? I mean, it's too early. I don't know what this means, but this early, I am saying that we are opposing.
Okay. In any case, this is obviously one of the things that media also wants to clarify. Obviously, another topic for another day. In the meantime po, maraming salamat po, Senator Franklin Drilon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please stay with us. The Chiefs will be right back. Welcome back. The Chiefs are here on One News. I'm Robbie Alampay. Still with me are Ami Pamintuan, Lucy Cruz Valdez, and Ed Lingao. And now joining us is Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim Quizon, Dr. Conky, member of the COVID-19 Interim National Immunization Technical Advisory Group, or NITAG. Good evening. Once again, Dr. Conky.
Hi, Doc.
Good evening, Doc. Conky.
Even though
Oh,
Ay, wala
nakamute
kang
po kayo.
audio.
Nakamute.
Time since I last
Wala.
Ayan, meron na.
Para mahina pa.
Mahina lang.
me.
Medyo mahina po.
Oh, ayan. Better ba?
Better. O, sige po.
Mahina pa rin.
Oo nga,
Pero,
mahina
Doc,
pa rin.
naka-microphone mo ba kayo? O naka-headset or wala?
Ano? Ako, naintindihan. Okay lang ba sa producers? Okay lang? Okay lang tayo on air? Sige. Okay. Doc?
Maybe you can just talk among yourselves. Let me
Hindi.
see kung pwede sa cellphone.
Hindi, okay naman po. Okay naman po. So far, okay naman po.
Okay naman?
Okay.
Sige.
Hey, Doc, of course, we got you back. Kasi nakita niyo naman yung nag-viral dun sa Makati, no? Yung tinurukan, pero hindi linubog yung injection. No, now a lot of people are asking, nako, paano ko malalaman? And let me ask it on a personal level. Kasi ako, pagka may di ba yung mga nagtuturok, meron team selfie, ako doon ako sa team, hindi ko kaya tumingin. So hindi ko tiningnan. Naramdaman ko lang. Pagkatapos kanina, nanonood akong balita, sabi nung taga DOH, huwag kang mag-alala, basta maramdaman mo yung may bigat, ibig sabihin naturukan ka. Wala akong naramdaman na bigat eh. Ano ibig sabihin nun, Doc?
Natusukan. Kailan ka naturukan kanina?
Mga 2 weeks ago.
So, sige.
Ba dapat
Magchikahan
magpaliwanag
daw
ka?
muna tayo.
Hindi, ganito yon. First of all, it's unfortunate, no? Na may nangyaring ganon, pero tao lang. Siguro sa 8 milyon na na-injectionan, it is likely na merong sasabit na isa, tao lang, no? So hopefully that is indeed kung mali, pero yun ang totally exception na hindi yan ng pang-ordinaryo na nangyayari. So sana Ed, huwag kang mag-alala, natusukan ka. Wala ka bang alalay nung ikaw ay nagpatusok?
si Robbie
Doc,
po.
natusukan ako pero hindi ko naramdaman kung merong pinasok kasi as in, walang bigat eh, nothing at all eh.
Ako hindi ko rin tiningnan. Pero may naramdaman akong parang parang medyo, parang may
Parang may pumasok. Ako wala eh.
Parang may
siguro.
Actually, two things yung mararamdaman mo eh. Yung unang pasok ng karayom, tapos yung pasok ng gamot.
Yeah, yung gamot.
Yung pangalawa, Doc, hindi ko naramdaman.
Hindi ko naramdaman yun.
Ulitin natin yun sa'yo.
Sige.
Hindi.
May reaction nyo na lang yan ngayon.
But serious question, Doc. Kasi sinabi nga ng DOH. Una, it's human error. Let's all let's all stress that. Ngayon sabi ng DOH, iimbestigahan din natin kung may nangyari pang mga ganyan. Pero yung tanong ng mga tao is, paano natin malalaman? Ano ba yung protocol after? Ano ba yung sistema after maturukan? Meron ba yung audit na every day, every hour? How do we know kung meron diyang natitirang syringe na hindi na plunge?
Oo, bilang na bilang eh. Kita nyo naman dahil nga kulang na kulang ang ating supply, kaya bawat isang vial ay binibilang. Halimbawa, yung Sinovac, which is 1 dose per vial, you know, at the end of the day, bilang ang mga yan kung ilan yung naibigay at kung ilan yung basyo.
Tama. So kung may laman pa yun, ibig sabihin, hindi na iturok. Oo nga.
Doc, pero I think yung concern ng ibang tao is Opo, Doc, pero I think ang concern ng ibang tao, is baka hindi na plunge yung plunger tapos tinapon na yung syringe as is supposed to be the case, di ba? You're supposed to dispose of everything dun sa sa hazardous waste eh. Di ba? So in that case, that's counted already as vaccine administered.
Dan, oo.
Kaya nga,
Pero
hindi rin ma-audit siya. Di ba, hindi ma-audit. Saka kung nagkamali yun at na-realize ng vaccinator, oops, nagkamali ako, baka itapon din, di ba? Hindi naman niya pwedeng idikit uli yung injection na yun sa ibang tao eh.
Di naman siguro, baka na makonsensya yun.
Oo. Let's
Hindi naman niya pwedeng gamitin uli.
Oo. That is not the norm.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, hindi yun ang ordinaryo nangyayari.
Opo.
Nangyari na, palpak na kung palpak itong nag-viral nga na video. But, ang buong paniwala ko naman, yun nga ay exception. Kaya dahil sa nangyari yun, tapos sasabihin natin, i-audit lahat. Maglagay lahat ng mga safety measures o safety net para wag maulit ng mga yon. It's a good idea, no? Pero built-in naman yung mga bagay-bagay na yon na sinusundan na protocol. Talaga sobrang malas lang na nagkamali ito and then really caught on video. Siyempre, ayan, no, si Lucy gusto na niya sabihin sa akin na, paano yung mga hindi nahuli?
Yan na naman.
Moderna, baka pumayag na yan.
Doc, I have staffers who say that they've been seeing similar video clips on social media before this new video.
Come on. You mean this is not the first?
Well, sabi ng isang staffer dun sa story ko na.
What is it exactly that they saw?
Well, ang sabi niya is ganun din daw, hindi na plunge yung plunger. Of course, I didn't see it myself, so I really can't tell eh. Pero sabi niya, it's not the first time that he's seen something like this. It's just that ito pumutok talaga. Anyway, Doc, I suppose po, it's correct naman. We should look at it as an exception. Pero yun nga in the end, people, I suppose it's natural for people to be worried and they if I was vaccinated or not. Kasi the only thing worse than not getting a vaccine is thinking that you got a vaccine when you did not.
False, anong tawag dyan?
False confidence
vaccine. Kasi may false positive, false negative.
Sobrang unfair yung sinasabi mo, Ed, na magkakaroon ka ng false sense of security. Tapos yung pala, wala kang protection, hindi ba? Talaga sobrang injustice na yan, yung ganon. So ito nangyari na to, while it's unfortunate, sige, parang, hoy, gising, yung ganon. So, sabi ko nga, kahit na more effort or anything, tapos nabanggit mo ngayon na, hindi may naire-report na ganyan eh. So, yaan ang hoy, gising para sa mga health workers and their supervisors to see to it na tama ang ginagawa.
Hindi, at saka nilang yun, Dok. Yung mga nagpapabakuna, tapangan nyo na mga loob nyo at tingnan nyo kung talagang
be alert.
Be alert. Plunger, diba?
So, yun na nga ang gagawin ngayon.
Duwag-duwagan dyan. Or dapat may witness ka, diba?
kung si Ed ko may kasama nung nagpabakuna. Kasi so far, sa experience namin, at least sa A2 and A3, dahil seniors at saka may comorbid,
Opo.
lahat ng pumapasok doon sa mismong bakunahan
May
na may kasama.
kasama.
At yung
Yes.
kasama yun, almost always, tagalitrato. Yung
Right.
ganon. Ang pinagtataka ko lang dito sa video na to, normally pinalilitratuhan para may ipagyabang sa Facebook, hindi ba? I was just wondering, bakit kaya tinutukan yung braso at yung proseso? Hindi yung mukha ng tao. Kasi
Hindi yung mukha,
pagyayabang
no?
mo later
Ay, wala
on yung
siyang
mukha,
kasama
hindi ba?
Wala
So I
siya.
was just wondering,
Selfie eh.
swerte naman, no? Tapos,
Mahirap.
the other thing that I was gonna say is, you know, you guys, sanay na sanay kayo na, because it's your job, malitratuhan, be on video. But can you imagine for ordinary people, pagka video yung ginagawa mo, two things. Either you rise to the occasion at magmagaling ka, or papalpak ka sa nervyos. So,
That's true.
again, yung sinabing
That's
human
true.
error, it could be that dahil alam na alam niyang vini-video siya, o di
Kinakabahan tuloy.
siya sa tuhod, nagkamali tuloy. At ayun, nasabog sa buong Pilipinas yung pagkakamali, unfortunately. Pero yun na nga, thank you Ed, yung sinabi mo, o sige, dahil sa pagkakamaling yan, mas magiging aware. Magbi-build ng awareness on both the pasyente nagpapabakuna at talagang titigan mo na itinusok sa'yo at para do sa health workers na, oy, seryoso naman tayo, be professional naman na kailangan talaga the best of our ability ang ibigay sa pagtuturok ng bakuna yun.
Okay, sabihin na lang natin, Doc, na hindi nga yan ang norm. Pero sabihin na lang natin na may mga, isang dosenang taong hindi na plunger, kumbaga, at hindi nila alam na hindi pala na plunge yung plunger. Paano kaya yun?
Paano na? Paano
Is
na?
there a way to find out?
May test ba? Pwede bang manigurado? Paano malalaman?
Oo. Well, magkakagasta pero pwede ka manigura dahil pwedeng i-test kung tumaas yung antibodies mo o hindi eh. Di ba?
Oo, so antibodies.
Theoretically, pag na-injection ka, pag tinest ang dugo mo, dapat tumaas ang antibodies mo.
Yeah.
Mga lumitaw nga na umi-epekto yung bakuna sa'yo. Kung talagang todong alanganin ka, and sasabihin mo, yun din, yung taong din na yun ang nag-ano sa akin, nag-inject sa akin, baka naman nagkamali din uli. Well then, yun ang paraan.
Pero Doc, meron daw period kailangan. It cannot be immediately after. Meron daw kailangan palipasin na period.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wala na naman ulit.
na nag-umpisa mag-build ang antibody sa katawan
Opo.
natin.
Okay.
Pero Doc, you can't have 10 million people getting that test. Kasi that will overwhelm the system altogether. Eh, di ba? not even 1% of that. You wouldn't want...
Kumalma tayo.
May bayad dyan,
Diba?
kikita yung mga clinic.
What
Oh,
if there were 12 people? Tapos bigla and what if there were 10 million people?
Diba? I mean, you wouldn't want people rushing to get that test. Eh, kasi you'll
Exactly.
overwhelm the
Exactly.
medical system.
Exactly. It's a human error. It's not a systematic error. When you say that there could be 1 million, 10 million, 5 million, that is already a systematic error, which is not likely. Okay? Yung human error na papatak-pata, sabi ni Lucci, kung 12 yun, maari ko pang ma-imagine na based on human
Doc, then
error.
let's bring it to the case of this one person that we know nangyari. Now, okay na ngayon kasi alam nating nakuha niya naman yung proper bakuna the day after, no? But let's say hypothetically that she didn't know. Let's say she never noticed sa video niya, hindi niya nakunan. Then she went on happily with her life and then she got her second dose. So in effect, she only got 1 dose. What does that mean for her?
That she's not protected. She's not 100% protected because she only got 1 dose. You know, and that is the injustice of it, is that akala mo, protektado ka, hindi pala. Nagkaroon ka ng false sense of security.
Okay.
Doc, wag naman injustice of Ed. Para naman ako nga.
Hindi ba? Pili tayo ng pili, tapos ikaw excited ka, tapos gusto mo maprotektahan ka, tapos hindi pala pinasok, hindi ba unfair yun? Tapos
In the meantime-
magkakasakit ka.
In the
So,
meantime, Doc, may problema tayo ngayon yung variant, and people are watching the countries na fully vaccinated. Israel, Pfizer yan. Yung UK, Pfizer and AstraZeneca. But they are seeing all these surges. Australia, Pfizer, they are seeing this. Oo. Ngayon, kaya ang nag-aalala nga, and Indonesia, of course, yung Sinovac nga. But anyway, people are wondering now if we will be needing booster shots. Kaming mga nagpa-vaccinate. Will we be needing the third shots?
Hindi ko masabi dahil pinag-aaralan pa nga kung hanggang kailan. And thank you for mentioning na kahit ano pang brand niyang bakuna mo, may lumalabas nga yung mga variant. And may mga nagkakasakit. But let me repeat yung pinag-usapan natin dati. Pwede ka naman ma-infect Pwede ka naman magkasakit kahit nabakunahan ka. Ang importante, hindi ka magkakaroon ng moderate or severe form. Hindi ka ma-ospital, hindi ka mamamatay.
Yung sa Indonesia nga, namatay.
Kahit may variant dyan.
Namatay yung doktor sa Indonesia nga Fully vaccinated.
Oo. It was as simple as they said he was fully vaccinated, but there was no other... I read 20 or a dozen doctors died, and they are fully vaccinated.
Yes.
But did you read the article? When I read the article, it wasn't clear whether they died. The article wasn't clear, sa madalit sabi. Kung yun talaga, nag-catch ng attention mo, pero hindi clear na yun nga ang kinamatay, na talaga nag-COVID sila after yung second dose. We can say our doctors, so many of our doctors died too before tayo nag-start di ba?
No, they died of COVID, not the vaccination. They died of COVID, not the vaccination.
Exactly.
Yun
Tapos sinabi na right after vaccination. They didn't, what I'm trying to say, hindi ko na matandaan. Basta ang pagkakabasa ko dun sa article, it wasn't clear. They died because they got COVID, but were this the same doctors who actually got full doses of the vaccine?
Fully vaccinated.
Fully sila.
Yeah. They're
Fully vaccinated sila. Actually,
they are
parang mga
340.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got
So
infected.
let's wait.
340 got
Hindi
infected, but
Oo.
a
Hindi ako
certain number
naniniwala, in
died.
short.
Yeah.
Oo. Hindi ako naniwala dun sa article, no? So I am not in a position to say anything right now based on one short article. But maybe what I can say is that at least dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, di ba inumpisahan natin ang Sinovac sa ating mga health workers back in February. And praise God, wala pa naman na ospital o binawian ng buhay when they are fully vaccinated.
Si Governor Kada,
Doc Conky, Doc Conky, to be fair po,
si Governor Kada
Doc Conky, to be fair lang po, I also read the article medyo kulang-kulang sa detalye yung article Wala masyadong konteksto doon sa deaths ng mga doktor. So I suppose that's what you're trying to say na
Oo.
that's what you're trying to say na in the end you want to have a clinical study of sorts. You want to have data.
Right. I'm sure it's gonna be done. But that's what I'm
Actually,
saying.
Doc,
I read the article, but it wasn't, it caught your attention. But at the end of the story, it wasn't really like beyond reasonable doubt ba yung pagkakakwento na totoo nga ba that they all died and yet they were fully vaccinated, yung ganon. Medyo butas-butas yung kwento.
Doc, ito ang tanong ko. Bakit now that more and more Filipinos are getting vaccinated, why doesn't the DOH make it part of their daily recording to just ask, kunyari, 6,000 cases today? Ba't hindi na lang ilagay, ilan doon ang mga nabakunahan na? Kasi parang that will help your campaign, di ba? Pero parang wala man lang kami information on, ilan ba dyan ang mga, kunyari, today 12 persons died of COVID. How many were vaccinated fully? Pagka 0, 0, 0, then to me, that's really quantitative data on the effectiveness of the vaccine. I think, di ba? If you're pushing the campaign.
Napakagandang mongkahe, Lucy Bajo. Really. And I'm sure they're taking this kind of data, pero tama ka. Bakit di nyo sinasabi sa amin? So,
Real world data yun di ba?
Ating, bukas na bukas, sasabihin ko sa kanila.
Dr. Gongi,
If we're doing it anyway, may karapatan ng public to know. Because that will really add dun sa ang tawag mo doon, sa kumpiyansa.
Yes, but
sa
Dr.
DOH.
Gongi, I hate to be KJ dito but ako, well, first I'm with you. If it's data, the more knowledge that people have, the better. I'm with you there. Ang fear ko is with us, is with media. Because look at what we're doing, for example, with the reports of doctors dying in Indonesia. Di ba? As you yourself said, that the information is not necessarily complete, but we will grab the headline material immediately. Even if only one person out of 6,000 people who died today turned out to be nabakunahan, the headline is not going to be only one person out of 6,000. The headline is going to be...
Yes, but what's wrong with that?
No.
What's wrong with that if that's factual?
No, yes,
Why
but
should we withhold that?
Yes, but
Diba?
no, I'm saying I'm all for giving access to data. I'm just saying reminder to ourselves. Because the headline tomorrow is going to be one person na nabakunahan na, namatay pa rin. And that's the majority of people will take that without the right context.
Yes, but isn't that what the experts are saying?
Yes,
that overall, really, the benefits outweigh the risks, and those who are. I mean,
I'm saying, Lucy,
parang let's make it really factual.
Sa akin, Lucy, nothing wrong with that. But nothing wrong also with reminding ourselves in media and reminding the public that let's not jump to conclusions pagka may lumabas na ganyan. Because if people take the wrong context, ang hirap habulin nun. Di ba? People will run with some people. You look at social media now, people will take one death, and that's the headline over the fact that 5,999 people did not die.
Well, would you rather be ignorant about it?
Well, no. What I'm saying is...
Well, that's my point.
What I'm saying is...
Well, I don't think
if we see how social media... We're on the same page. We're on the same page. Like I said,
really arguing.
I'm all for it. Like I said, we just have to be...
Because the government is really confident about the vaccines, diba? Then what's... Diba? Then let the evidence be out there for people to evaluate it, right?
Yes.
And as for us in media, we will just report it. Now, how viewers or readers, diba, will take it is really not our problem. We're not in the business of, diba, molding opinions. I mean, we're just giving the facts.
I don't think there's disagreement here. I think you're saying the same thing, both of you, except that you're looking at it from different perspectives. Si Doc Ongki, nakikinig na sa atin.
Just to let you know.
Kami nire-report lang namin, di naman namin hine-headline.
Oo, diba? Kaya nga, parang
new development,
parang ngayon kasi 6,035
No, but
cases,
sa akin,
but
we can't pretend, even with, especially with social media right now. And let's face it, social media is much more powerful than us many, very, very often. So even if we get the context right, we have to be, the ano lang is, let's not be in denial that this story can be spun by people. And we can't just say, wala na akong pakialam dyan, nailabas ko na. I mean, the reality...
Like any other story.
Mas lalo namang mahirap kung hindi ilalabas yung story.
I know.
Kaya nga, parang
Look,
the alternative would be
let's be clear.
ignorance.
Let's be clear. Nobody said wag ilabas ang story. Nobody said wag ilabas ang data. Ang sinasabi ko lang, I sincerely believe this is a constructive reminder and an honest reminder, knowing not just how media behaves, but how social media behaves.
I know the three of you, and I think
we
you all
don't own
agree.
social media.
It's just that you want to say it differently
Bahala na sila
Pwede
doon.
from
na
each
ba
other.
sumingit?
Oo nga pala. Okay, going back to our
Bigas pa
guest.
tayo, bigas pa tayo.
Ganito
Dr.
yun.
Gogi, sumama naman kayo sa kuntuhan.
Paano nga eh? Parang, anyway, did you know that yung vaccination status is kasama talaga sa data? Halimbawa, pag nag-measles ang bata, o nag-polio ang bata, nag-diphtheria, nag-kung ano, kasama sa data yan na tinatanong, nabakunahan ba? Nakailan? You know?
Yes, there you
Sa
go.
madaling
Yeah.
sabi, yung mungkahi mo na sa mga nagkakasakit ngayon o magpapositive o maa-admit, bakit hindi isama yung data na yun?
Yes,
Actually, that's not really new. Kumbaga, sabi ko nga,
Right.
ginagawa yan dati, no? But I also would like to give value do sa sinabi naman ni Robbie na let's put things into context. Sa totoo lang, I've been a spokesperson for the Department of Health nung panahon ng SARS. And you know, ang hirap kapag you're trying to give messages and then one misconception. Halimbawa noon, Doktora, totoo po ba na nadadala, ang maling ay nakakapagbigay ng SARS? O kaya dala ng mga ukay-ukay yung SARS. 3 araw bago ko ma-reverse yun. With that single, makakalimutan lahat yung ibang messages, mafo-focus dun sa I'm trying to reverse na hindi galing sa maling o hindi galing sa ukay-ukay. So perhaps yun din yung sinasabi ni Robbie na within context, na kapag nasa sa inyo na i-report nyo, yung let's all try to see to it na nasa konteksto din. So, di ba? Wisdom of Solomon. Na ano ko ba kayong
Talaga namang rules of journalism yun eh.
Oo nga eh.
Talaga naman, that's a basic.
Pero, as in all professions, we have rotten apples. So yeah, di ba? Wala. Oo.
So
Okay.
you know what? I would like to share. Balikan natin itong nangyari sa
Oo nga.
video na to.
Balik tayo sa bakuna.
Balikan ko lang. Hindi, kasi last Thursday, we had the honor and the opportunity to meet expert to expert with 3 experts from Israel, no? Na inanyayahan dito nila Secretary Galvez para nga matuto tayo ano ba ang kanilang strategy, why they are successful. And they looked at one of our vaccination centers, vinisip nila. And ang conclusion nila is, you guys are doing things within standard, and in most cases, over pa nga daw tayo. Doon sa naobserbahan nilang proseso na ginagawa natin sa vaccination centers, sobra-sobra daw yon. So kinokosyon nila tayo na while it's true na maganda yung ginagawa nyo, see to it din naman na hindi kayo nag-aaksaya ng time, effort, and resources para makarating sa isang standard na lampas na nga kayo. So yun ang gusto kong ibalita sa lahat, that yun ang kanilang conclusion sa nakita nila. Siyempre hindi nila nakita yung nagbakuna na yun, buti na lang.
Okay. Sige. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but we're sure that this is not the last time we're going to see you, Dr. Conky. Okay, maraming salamat po, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
And the
Conky.
pleasure is mine. Good
Okay.
night.
Night.
And that's all for this special edition of The Chiefs. We hope what was discussed here will keep the conversation going. Before we go, a reminder to our viewers, mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
I'm Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
I'm Lucy Cruz Valdez of News 5.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News.